bill has gone and hasn't passed, will you reintroduce that?
Absolutely, and when I am elected President of the United States, I will make sure that bill gets to my desk.
Okay, so a few things here. She doesn't answer the question. She's asked what she'll do to fix the border. Simple question, good question. Answers with a long, winding discourse about how the border problems are Trump's fault. Never actually gives her own plan. Needs Oprah to come in at the end and answer the question for her, acting like literally as her spokeswoman. But notice something else. She begins her answer by saying that she has worked on this problem because she was the Attorney General of California. Well, wait a second. You worked on this problem as Attorney General of California, you say, but I thought, didn't you work on this problem as Vice President? Why didn't you say you worked on the problem in the role that you currently have? Like, that's an odd thing. Well, why didn't she say that? Well, because everyone knows the problem is worse now. You know, it's like when I was 19 or whatever, and I was interviewing for a job at, I think it was maybe Home Depot, and I gave 3 references from previous employers, but I did not include my most recent job as a reference. And of course, the interviewer asked me about that, and the reason I didn't include it is because I got fired from that job. So we're just going to skip over. We're going to skip over the thing I did most recently, and I'll tell you about stuff from a couple of years ago. How about that? And I still got the job because, they'll whatever. But it's a similar kind of thing, but much worse in this case. When you're skipping over the most recent job you had, when you're trying to, when you're trying to explain why you should get a new job, and you're going back to jobs from years ago, but skipping the one that you actually have right now, well, that tells us something about how you performed in that job. Couple of other moments. Let's go here. This is Kamala talking about being a gun owner and using language and a tone here that we have not seen from her in the past when it comes to this particular issue. Let's watch.
Bitch.
I'm a gun owner. Tim Walz is a gun.
I did not know that.
You talk, you piece of shit.
If
And I thought
somebody
that was
breaks in
powerful.
my house, they're getting shot.
Yes. Yeah.
Faggot. You gonna start the stream or you gonna keep being gay? Fucking retard. Fucking faggot. Doesn't even wanna go fucking sit on a bench and watch me do pull-ups. This guy's so fucking lazy. That
Yes. I
can't
hear
even
that.
fucking
I
fix
hear
his
that.
goddamn
Probably
printer
shouldn't
and fucking print out a resume. Fucking lazy cunt.
But
My staff will deal with that later.
Yeah. You like that picture I sent of your fucking ugly face, you fucking piece of
Yeah,
shit?
so funny. Laugh it up there, Chuckles. So you support gun rights for yourself, but not for the rest of us. That's what
I
you're
don't know,
saying.
for some
That's
reason,
the
that stood out
hilarious
to me,
joke here
this fucking faggot in my
is
fucking picture.
that she's going to protect her
Bitch.
house with a gun because she's important.
Yeah, how many fucking
She
jets are you
basically
gonna keep
admits her
building?
hypocrisy because she says that her
Fucking
staff isn't going to, she shouldn't have said that. Her staff's going to have to deal
Yeah,
with it.
build the SR-71, you
But
fucking gay cunt.
what do you mean they're going to have to deal with it? Why is it
You're
a
building
problem
this
that you
piece
said
of
that?
shit Chinese fucking plane, you fucking cunt. Is that what you're
Trump
telling
could
me?
say
You
something like
fucking
that,
cunt.
and his staff would not be upset. It wouldn't be something he had to deal with later. Because saying that you would shoot an intruder in your home is a totally normal thing. It's not controversial. Nearly every American citizen feels the same way. It's only a problem for you, and you're aware that it's a problem for you, because in your case, it's hypocritical, because you're a gun-grabbing tyrant. So she's essentially admitting that. Finally, we get to the grand finale. I don't know what the question was that sparked this ramble, but it's long, as you would expect from anything that Kamala Harris says. It is long and entirely empty of meaning. We kind of have to watch the whole thing because it is something to behold. This is Kamala Harris. If you had to summarize Kamala Harris in 2 minutes, you would do it with this right here. Watch.
We love our country. I love our country. I know we all do. That's why everybody's here right now. We love our country. We take pride in the privilege of being American. And this is a moment where we can and must come together as Americans, understanding we have so much more in common than what separates us. Let's come together with the character that we are so proud of about who we are, which is we are an optimistic people. We are an optimistic people. Americans, by character, are people who have dreams and ambitions and aspirations. We believe in what is possible. We believe in what can be. And we believe in fighting for that. That's how we came into being, because the people before us understood that one of the greatest expressions for the love of our country, one of the greatest expressions of patriotism, is to fight for the ideals of who we are, which includes freedom to make decisions about your own body, freedom to be safe from gun violence, freedom to have access to the ballot box, freedom to be who you are and just be, to love who you love openly and with pride, freedom to just be. And that's who we are. We believe in all that. And so this is a moment where we stand knowing what we are fighting for. We're not fighting against. It's what we're fighting for.
Thank you. Thank you. Madam.
Your sperm don't make you male.
Then what does?
It's a constellation.
In reality.
Vice President.
I think that Oprah kind of summed it up at the end. She goes, You know, this is she's trying to do the speech at the end of the inspirational Disney movie from the 90s. You know, she's trying to do that, and you can almost hear the piano music that she must be hearing in her head while she's saying this, but she can't even get that right because she lacks the necessary coherence because she's a moron. So she's trying to do something vapid and
Bro, come
cliched,
watch me do pull-ups, dog. I got some new
which would
gym equipment. Want to try out? I got some new gym equipment that I want to try out at the pull-up bar, dog. Gotta come.
be bad enough.
You know those things you put your arms in so you can do lower leg raises? Hold on, I'll try it.
But
Come by, you gay cunt. Just have to sit on a bench.
Really dismiss
What?
that as absurd, though?
Nah, fucking come, you fucking piece of shit. You don't know what now?
more money for women's studies. Well, again,
I love this shirt as well.
The silent majority.
but see, that's the whole point of it's like, we got to get this country back on track because it just gets worse from here. And it's like the same thing with the wars in the Middle East. And people don't like to be intellectually honest about this, but it's like, what do you expect when you go into the Middle East and start all these wars and drone strike countries and get into foreign interests that you have nothing to do with? And then they say, well, these Muslims hate your way of life. No, they're sick.
Yo, can I have you listen to this video in the background and tell me what you think of it? All right, just give me 1 second. Let me send the link. Shit.
And I apply that.
Sent it.
Hello everyone, I'm out here. It's a very sunny, nice day. Around me is just nature. I want to talk about like a little bit about like the birth rate decline of South Korea. It's a big trend in the whole globe. Like even the countries that are believed to have beautiful country system, and like some countries like Finland have a very nice childcare system, and northern European countries, those countries were believed to have like a nice system that people will have no trouble deciding to have a baby or like start a family. But still, like even Finland's birth rate was going down. So it's like weird because almost every country is starting to have a decline. But well, let's just focus on South Korea because like we all know the whole world's birth rate is declining. So let's like focus on South Korea because I am here. This is South Korea, by the way. Some Koreans riding on their bike. It's like, I'm actually here. Anyways, it's good to be in South Korea when we talk about the low birth rate, because this is like the lowest birth rate in the whole history of Earth. We're at currently about 0.72 or something. Let me tell you my thoughts on why that's happening. I think, so TLDR, I think it's because we are trying to make a perfect child. Like, you know this term called helicopter moms, where they pick up their child and they quickly go to the next, academy, or it could be, we call it hagwon in Korea. But what they do is they pick up their kid. Let's say he's David. Like David hops on the car, and David goes to like this swimming class, and then he learns swimming. Comes out after like an hour, and mom's waiting with her car, and she's like, "Come on, David, no time to waste." And then they go to, let's say, like a reading, some sort of an academy that they learn. It's not public education; it's gonna be private education. So that means they are paying another people to teach their child, not like the public system. They do all that, but why? Well, but there are a few reasons. One of the reasons is maybe the child actually wants to learn swimming. So David would be like, "Mom,
Basically, think of it like private school, public school.
can I learn swimming? I like swimming. Well, then the nice mom would be like, okay, well, sure, you can try learning swimming. So that's like case one. Number two is David doesn't want to swim, but the mom was like, David, if you want to be a beautiful man in the future with a nice body, and if you want to be praised by other people, you have to learn at least one, you know, one athletic thing, and let's go swim. David doesn't want to learn math, but maybe the mom was like, David, if you want to get a good SAT score, you have to learn math. Like, it could be something like that. It could be the mom trying to make David a perfect child. Now, this reminds me of playing The Sims, because when you play Sims, some people, like at least me, when I play Sims, I always make my sim like the perfect one. Like, like never get fat, always has a treadmill or some sort of like a working out machine in the room. Always have like cooking 10, charisma 10. Like my sim would be talking with a mirror all day long, and the next day reading about cooking all day long. You know what I mean? Like, there's this some sort of urge or like a tendency that I want to make my sim perfect. But should we do that to our child too? Or should we have a mindset of, when I have a child, I'm gonna make my child perfect? It sounds good, right? But is it? And I don't think so. Because if my sim, my sim doesn't have an ego, but if it did, what if my sim says, "Hey Sonu, I know you want me to live a good life, but I don't want to work out. I don't want to read this cooking book. Can I just order pizza?" Then if the sim starts to talk to you and say that, can you actually say, okay, then you can do whatever you want. Let's go to party. um, what I want to say is, if the child actually likes studying and if the child actually wants to do all those stuff, then that's perfect. Nothing wrong here. But if it's if the child like doesn't really set anything about, hey, I like this or I want to do this, but if the parent like pushed or pressured the child to do this, like learn this, learn that, and everything, and the child is like, okay, maybe I should do this because mom and dad says I should do it. So they're like learning something without knowing why they're doing it, and that becomes a stress, because that becomes mental stress, because burnout or all these mental depressions happen when you're doing something that you don't know why you're doing. They think they have to do at least that much investment to their child to become a good parent, I guess, or maybe to present their child a good life. But in my perspective, I think that's actually the worst thing you can do to a child. If the child actually likes to learn math and actually likes to learn swimming, that's a good thing to do as a parent, but not asking what the child wants, but just pressuring them to do this and that sounds a bit like Sims. And I don't think that's a good way to raise a child. So I want to talk about this really toxic trait in Korea. It's called 평균 올려치기. In English, it means inflated average. South Korean male has an average height of 174.4 centimeters. So that means most of the majority are 174.4 centimeters, and some are shorter, some are taller. So that's the meaning of average. We all know that, right? But when we go to like Seoul or like a club or like a place where there's like a lot of people, they always say, "Oh, I think to become like average in Korea, you have to be at least 178." But in reality, 178 is actually higher than average. But they think their average mind, average like feeling is skewed. They feel 176 or 177, 8 is average. That's inflated average in It's very prevalent in South Korea, and it applies to a lot of categories. For example, there's also this term called 국평5. It's like a short term of 국민 평균 5등급. It means there's this grade system. 등급, it means like a grade system where grade 1 is the best and grade 9 is the worst. So basically that means grade 5 is in the middle. It's like the average score. And when some person writes a comment or, starts to debate about something, but when they seem to be off topic or when they seem to look dumb a little bit, they write down 국평5, which means 국민 평균 5등급, which means, oh, the national average is grade 5. It's saying that grade 5 is a low score, saying most majority of people are dumb, saying since the average score is grade 5 and in their mindset grade 5 feels very low, they are saying that this commenter is dumb. But in reality, if that person actually got like a grade 5, then that means that person is an average. Isn't that so? It means most of the Koreans have like a mindset that the average score is a low score. I mean, then who gets the average? Like, what is the real average? Like, they think at least you have to get a grade 3, and grade 3 is like top 17%. So Koreans think you have to be at least top maybe 20% to become the ideal average. So what does that mean? All the lower 80% will feel like, oh, I'm not enough. This is so prevalent in South Korea. Height, grade, money, like how much money you make. So because of this skewed, like inflated average mindset, most people feel inadequate. Most people feel they are not good enough. So because of this inflated average mindset, most people have a low self-esteem. I want to finish this video by talking about Zhang Zhou. In Korean we call it 장자. His philosophy is about human dignity. And he said human dignity comes from when we love stuff that is useless. And that could be, for example, loving, our dog, loving walking around the park. I mean, walking around the park doesn't make you any money or, doesn't make you go up on the history book, right? It's just walking around the park because I love to do it. Zhang Zhou said, what makes us human is doing what you love that is useless. What Zhang Zhou really wanted to say was, if you treat everything in life as something that you have to be useful and make money, for example, walking around the park, before connecting that idea with like making money, you're like, oh, I'm so comfortable walking around the park, I love walking around the park, it's your routine. But like when that person says, let's make money out of walking around the park, when they treat that to something that they have to be useful, that thing becomes something that they don't love anymore. But South Koreans really need this philosophy because most of them treat themselves as tools. They say, hey, I have this amount of certificate, hey, my grade is like 95, I'm a good student. But they never talk about what they love. They never talk about what their dream is. This is basically becoming a tool. It's like not a human. It's basically a factory printed citizen just to do more work, right? I think this is why South Koreans have a low birth rate. It's just too depressing to focus your life on making more money and getting proof that you are a good worker and being praised that you have 10 certificates, 100 on your math test. But they never talk about, my favorite moment in life is walking around the lake listening to music. My favorite moment in life is walking my dog or giving food to my cat or saving other people's. And I think underlying the low birth rate of South Korea the root of the problem is this: South Koreans lack philosophy. They're always like, you have to at least make 6 figures when you're about 30 years old. Well then, are the people who doesn't make that amount of money at age 30, are they losers? No, they're perfectly fine. They're all perfectly fine human beings. Like, you know what I mean? If we start to put a guideline that is measurable, there's always a winner and a loser. But we can't do that to humans. I mean, to protect your self-esteem and other people's self-esteem, we should always talk about a value that is not comparable. That the values that is always measurable only by you. For example, like my love towards, let's say, running around the lake, listening to music, that's what I love. I cannot tell you how much I love it because it's a value only inside me. Of course, somebody maybe has the same hobby or the same thing, like maybe you might love to walk around the lake listening to your favorite music, but like the music's gonna be different, the pace of walking is gonna be different, the feeling when you approach the water is gonna be different. Everything is just personal, and that is dignity. When a value is not convertible to another value, let's say money or like gold, time, that is dignity. South Koreans need this. They don't have dignity. They need to focus on the present, right now, what they love. And they need to develop more and learn who they are. Oh, I didn't know, but I liked plants, like this. Oh, I didn't know, but I liked piano music. They need to learn more about themselves and just live in right now, trying to just fill their life with more things that they love. And that brings up happiness. And that will make your life more happier. Maybe eventually, they will have a kid, and maybe they'll say, oh, I should raise my kid like me. So maybe they'll say, son, it could be like David number 2. David, it's okay to get a 0 score on math, or maybe 10, like 20. What matters is you enjoy math. What matters is you had a fun time taking the test. What matters is you have a goal. It doesn't need to be math or whatever, but what matters is you have something that you're passionate about. And if you're not, I'll help you finding it. So I think when South Koreans finally focus on the dignity part of life, or what makes us human part, I think they will be hugging their child when they come back with a low score, saying, it's okay. What matters is not giving up and trying out what you love and trying to find out what you love. If you don't like math, that's totally fine. What matters is you tried taking the math test and figured out that maybe it's not your thing. But that doesn't make you a lesser person. It makes you a person, actually a better person, because you tried to find what you love in your life. So +1 try. I think that's what we need in South Korea. And I think that's why the birth rate is going down. And the reason why, other successful countries like Finland or like rich countries, the reason why their birth rates are going down is because social media shows even richer people. There's always a richer people than you. There's always someone richer. When you see that on the social media, your dignity part turns off and you're like, oh, maybe I'm not good enough. Maybe I need more money. Maybe I need this. Maybe I need a bigger chest, a wider shoulder, a better looking face. Your dignity part in your brain turns off suddenly when you look at other successful people's or other, social media. That's why social media is bad for you, because your dignity part of your philosophy suddenly turns off, because it's really hard to resist that. It's really hard to resist. That's a different person from me, so I should not start comparing. It's really hard to do this. Even I look at social media, and think like, oh, I want to be like him. It just happens naturally. It's really hard to resist that, but we have to train ourselves not to compare to others and just focus on yourself and your life, and just, you get what I'm saying. Yeah. So anyways, I hope you liked it, and I hope you have a good day, and I hope you find what you love, and I hope you practice and actually do fill your life with all the stuff that you love. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.
Tough, man. I'm saying, yeah, like it's a pretty tough sell, people nowadays, right? What do you mean? Yeah, yeah. Like height, uh, income. I guess like grades, degree, like your job. I already know. Yeah, I know. Yeah, yeah, it's like it's interesting though.
Of the United States
You know what's going
military
on in
being
China, right? Like, have you ever heard of lay down and rot? So basically, I think it's arguably like one of the most effective like revolution, like I don't know, like protest actions if you want to call it that. Where it's just like the younger generation is just basically giving up. They're not gonna look for a job no more. They're not gonna like try because the living standards are so dismal. There's no point, right? And can the government do? It's like you basically got a population of people who just they couldn't care less if they even died, right? So, well, I mean, yeah, like, but like, if you just kill all of them, right, or force them into labor, like your economy's still tanked, right? Because nobody's really gonna. Everybody already knows, like, all we have to do is not do anything, and eventually at some point, who's gonna pay the guards? Who's gonna pay the police officers if everything is just shut down, right? Yeah, I mean, but they're probably going to go into like a Great Depression. So
Used like Israel's dragon or something in the Middle East. And so then they just go to the source. So it's like the same thing. We have to decouple from the Middle East completely.
yeah, yeah, I think I did. In many ways, it's even more superficial from what I've heard. Like if you don't look half decent, you're done, basically.
Completely decouple. And so that's why there was peace in the Middle East when Trump
Send
was
you
president,
another
because he wasn't sending
video.
all the money, he wasn't sending all the arms. I mean, I don't know if there'll ever be peace in the Middle East, but in comparison to
See what you
now,
think of
certainly
this.
you could say that's peaceful compared to where it's at now. And so what did they do? As soon as Biden got into office, all the money, all the weapons get.
If your shampoo is leaving your straight hair.
What's good, y'all? I go by the name of LSCO. And I'm gonna get straight into it, man. I ain't even gonna waste no time.
Yeah, yeah, that definitely speaks to me.
Why do men not talk to women no more? Why don't men want to talk to women no more? Why don't men want to take women on dates? Why don't men pursue women or try to talk to them anymore? I'll tell you why, because the majority of women are hard to deal with, are difficult to deal with, and men don't like difficulty in women. I don't care what y'all say. Y'all could try to play hard to get, try to play nonchalant, act like you don't really like a guy, try to make a guy chase you. Men don't like that. I don't care what the internet tells you, what memes tell you, what quotes tell you. Men don't like that shit. Life is hard and difficult enough. The last thing we want to do is deal with difficult. Difficulty when it comes to a woman. Not only that, it's like you're already defeated before you start talking to a woman.
Yeah.
The majority of women don't think too fondly of men. They think men aren't shit. They don't need men. Men aren't great people. They just want to smash. They're gonna play you. They're already talking to a bunch of other girls. They're sexually active with multiple girls. These are things that
So yeah, you're right.
women think of you regardless of who you are as soon as they meet you, because that's just how most women think of men. So when you think of that, like, put it this way, would you go to a job interview if you already knew there was a strong possibility that you wasn't going to get the job? Like, would you go to a job interview if you knew that those employers already don't believe in anybody that comes to an interview? They already don't believe that you might not be fit for the job before meeting you. They just assume that any worker that comes to work for that job isn't going to be a good fit and isn't going to be a good worker. Would you go to that job interview? Would you try to get that job if you felt like they was going to look at you like they look at every other employee that they hired? I answer it for you. No, you would not. If you knew that, put yourself in our shoes, women. If every man thought that women were bad and they were hoes and they had multiple guys, and basically if men thought like very negative, like you wouldn't want to deal with that, bro. You wouldn't want to deal with it. I don't even want to explain it. Like, it's self-explanatory. It's like you're already defeated before you start talking to a woman. She thinks you have a roster, you're having sex with multiple women, you're a player, you're gonna play her, you don't have any genuine intentions, you just want to smash. You probably talking to a bunch of other girls. They think all of this, the majority of women think very negatively of men before they even get to know you, just because you are a man. Why would men want to try? If I tell y'all not gonna believe me. I don't ever try to talk to no girl ever. If I've talked to you and you watching this video, or if you know somebody I talk to, that shit is rare, very rare. I don't ever try to talk to a girl, ever. I really don't. I focus on myself and my money, and I just like flow through life. And if a genuine random interaction comes with me and a woman, cool, but I'm not forcing it. I think the majority of women, like, they want
On the left. Yeah. That's probably why it looks better.
want, and take, and everything is about them and their happiness and what they want, and they want men to chase. And most men just aren't doing that. Like, that's not genuine. Nobody wants to feel like they're in a one-sided situation. Nobody wants to feel like the person that they're pursuing and they're interested in doesn't feel the same way about them. And if we feel that way, because you can say whatever you want, but if we feel that way based on your actions, then we don't want to talk to you. Like, we don't want to try anymore. We don't even want to continue to try to pursue you. A lot of women aren't friendly. They don't have a friendly, inviting vibe. Like, a lot of women aren't like welcoming. You know what I'm saying? And like,
there was a moment where nobody knew what SNL was.
That's just like I get it, y'all can be however you want, but when you think about it, if you a woman who feels like men don't really talk to women or they don't approach you or whatever, like, a lot of y'all look mean as hell. On top of what social media done did to our minds and music and all of that, we don't get the vibe that women crave men at all. Like, we don't get the vibe that y'all need us at all, want us at all for anything. And it's like, why would I be happy or hyped to go out into the world and actually try to pursue any woman when I'm constantly fed that women don't even want men at all for nothing? Y'all don't need us for nothing. Meanwhile, the world was built by men, but that's another question. I mean, another conversation. But it just seems like we aren't needed or we aren't desired. So what the fuck am I gonna go out to the world and try to pursue anybody for? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like this mentality that all women share, where it's like no woman wants to show that they really like you or they interested in you or tell you or show you. You know what I'm saying? It's just like that kind of mentality. I don't see what the hell is the problem. I don't see what's wrong with it. If two people mutually like each other and mutually interested in each other, I don't get that, man. I don't get it. I don't see why two people are scared to like connect and like tell each other. It's like, in this day and age, it's a constant battle of ego and pride, yo. It's like you try to talk to a woman and it's like it's not enough if you, hey, you're pretty, I want to get to know you. It's like they always think men have like bad intentions. It's like, why? It's like, we literally just think you're beautiful and we want to get to know you to see if your personality is beautiful too. Of course, all men say it because that's how we feel. You are pretty and we want to get to know you. It don't be that deep when we first meet you. Like, I don't know you at all. I saw you, you look pretty, I like your style. You know what I'm saying? It's super simple. We are attracted to you physically and we want to get to know you to see if you are attractive mentally. Simple as that. And a lot of the times, if you end up getting just fucked, that has everything. Sometimes, you know, y'all probably not gonna do it, but you gotta take self-accountability, and sometimes it's you, it's not the dude. I think some women really don't have a personality, and then some women, they just hold back a lot of their personality because they're shy and they're scared when you first meet a guy. But you gotta realize what that's doing to the man. That's making a man think you don't have no personality and you're not like fun to be around. Like, it's nothing to crave because you're more quiet, you're not funny, you kind of just holding back. Like, you can only do that for so long for a man to just think like, okay, she's just boring and like don't got no personality. Like, you can't let your shyness dim your real personality, because how's anybody gonna ever get to know you if you're constantly hiding who you are and your personality because you're scared they may not like you or they're not gonna like how you are or whatever. Like, if a guy really likes you, don't you want to know that he really likes you because you are exactly who you are and you're not pretending to be a lot cooler, nonchalant, or like, you know what I'm saying? Like, just be yourself. If you clingy, be yourself. If he don't like you, move on to somebody that really does. Like, the last thing you want to do is get to know somebody and pretend to be somebody you're not, right? And then during the relationship, you start to change into who you really are, and then they end up not liking who you really are. And then you just wasted all of that time when you could have been exactly who you are from the beginning. And if they don't like you from the beginning, you waste way less time. You know what I mean? Because if you change in the middle of a relationship and you start being different, it's like, they might be like, oh, I don't really like you. I'm not feeling that. I ain't know you was like this when we met. But meanwhile, you was just hiding who you really are the whole time. Just be your fucking self. I don't know why y'all scared to be yourself. Like, I think the main thing we all need to work on is just being ourselves, going to therapy, because there's nothing wrong with going to therapy and healing from our past traumas, past relationships, I even need to do it. I'm not exempt. Because I don't really believe in women no more, to be honest. Like, it's extremely hard. It's hard. Like, I be trying to, and then I have a little hope for somebody, and then they do small little things that I'm not feeling, and it just made me be like, well, here we go again. Like, it's another one that's the same way like the rest of these women. If a woman really likes you, if a man really likes you, they will text you, they will call you. I truly believe if somebody genuinely really likes you, they're not going to care to call or text as much. They're going to do it, but the main thing they're going to want to do is be around you in real life. That's the problem with this generation. Like, everybody wants to text and be on the phone and FaceTime and shit. Like, I don't know, I'm old school, and like, I'm a real nigga. I don't want to text and FaceTime you all the time. If I can't be around you, can't be around me, just don't talk to me. Like, leave me the fuck alone. Cause I honestly just can't like you through the phone. Like, it's never gonna change. Like, you
Me.
you can talk to me for months and you think I like you more than I liked you when we first met. I'm not trying to be an asshole. I don't. I can't gain feelings through the phone. I just can't do it. It's not real. You can pretend to be whoever you want through the phone. I can't feel your aura. I can't smell your scent. I can't see your face. I can't, like, you know what I'm saying? Even though you can on FaceTime, but it's not the same as in person. I'm never going to connect with nobody ever in life through the phone, not FaceTime, not text. And people have normalized that shit, getting to know people through a phone. This generation is ridiculous. You have to get to know somebody. These days, this is exactly how talking stages go. You get to know somebody through Instagram, and once you graduate from that, you get to know them through the phone, and once you graduate from that, then you can meet them in person. I'm not doing none of that shit. Personally, I'm not doing it. Any man who loves himself, who respects himself, who cares about the realer things in life, the more authentic things in life, they're not gonna do that shit. And a busy man who has things to do, they're not gonna do none of that. I personally don't want to do it. I genuinely, I'm getting worked up as I'm talking because I'm real passionate, but I genuinely just can't do it. I can't force myself to like nobody through a phone. And women will look at me like, women in general will look at men like they don't really like you. They probably don't, because you're not seeing them enough in person. You know what I'm saying? And if you are seeing them enough in person, maybe you're one of the shy ones that's holding back who you really are, and you're not giving much in. From the men's perspective, it looks like you don't really have much personality. And if you feel like you are being yourself and you are doing all of those things and you are meeting them in person, and you know what I'm saying, then it boils down to maybe y'all just not for each other, and that's okay. It's 8 billion people in the world. Keep trying. If you really want to find your partner, your life partner, keep trying. You're not gonna win by staying stuck in the house and waiting for some man to show up at your doorstep or your DMs. Like, we have to actively go out and meet people and just talk to people. You don't have to necessarily actually connect with everybody, but you can go out and just have random conversations. You don't have to actually be pursuing somebody. You can go literally anywhere and just start a conversation with somebody you find interest in, or maybe you find them attractive, just to give yourself a better chance at finding the one for you. Sitting in the house and doing absolutely nothing is not gonna help you get closer to the one. I need to take my own advice, because I don't go no damn where, and when I do, I don't be ever talking to nobody. I'm giving y'all the same advice I need to give myself. I'm honest. A lot of people will give you advice and they don't even tell you what they actually do. I do the same thing. I'm gonna be honest with you, and we both need to change that. But personally, I feel like y'all probably end up doing it before me, because I just kind of lost hope. I don't really have hope in a lot of people in general no more, not just women, because of like so many experiences of getting let down and disappointed. It's just like,
Well, the interview's over.
We want to know.
the same thing over and over, and it's just annoying. It's just basic shit too, like basic communication and basic. It is what it is, man. If somebody just don't like you, they just don't like you. They not feeling you. And some of us want people to like us in a certain way, and if they don't, we move on, and that's okay. You have that right. If somebody likes you a certain way and they're not liking you the way you want to be liked, you have a right to move on. You don't have to deal with them and accept the way they want to like you or show that they like you. You don't have to deal with it. It's your right to move the hell on, which is most of the time what I do. Women are, y'all, a lot of y'all are so afraid to be clingy. Y'all so afraid to text and call and just say, I want to see you. That is very attractive. You got to participate when you're talking to somebody. Like, you can't just expect a man to do, lead. Like, do something. Like, something. Like, it's like a lot of y'all just sit back and expect a man to do every fucking thing. It's like, how do I even know you like me? Because you say, I like you, because you responding, because you come around me, because you kiss me, because you fuck me. Like, that's not enough. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that don't be enough. And I think men are waking up and they don't want to deal with that shit. Nobody wants to feel like they're not really desired the same way that they giving somebody. There's nothing wrong with being clingy, man. A lot of y'all been clingy to the wrong dude, to people that just don't like you. I've done the same damn thing. Some people just don't like you. It is what it is. You're just not for them. Move on. It's a million people in the world. Some people will love you exactly the way you are, but that doesn't mean stay the same and not improve. You should improve and still try to become a better person, but you know, some people will like the core values of who you are and the core things that make you you, those things, but you should still take accountability and be self-aware and self-improve as a person. You shouldn't stay the same just because you feel like, oh, somebody love me just the way I am. But that's why a lot of men don't try to talk to women no more. It's just too difficult. You're already defeated before you even meet a woman. They already just don't believe in you. Think all of these negative things about you. And it's funny because I've low-key adopted the same mindset because of all of the experience I've had from women. Now I kind of feel the same way. So I get it. I don't be believing in none of y'all for real. Like, it'd be hard for me to believe in somebody like they really got to do a lot. And it ain't even really a lot. It's just the bare minimum to me. Like, the bare minimum. I know when a woman really likes me. And you should know when a man really likes you. If you have to question that shit, they don't like you. We know. You and I both. Everybody watching this damn video, I don't care what you tell yourself in your head, you know when a man likes you. You know when a woman likes you. You know. And if you have to question it, ask somebody, think about it, they don't really like you. Or maybe you need to have a conversation and then move from there. And if it's not, you know, the answers that you want, move the hell on. There's plenty of people in the world. Everybody is different. And there's plenty of people in the world. There's plenty of people that you can potentially connect with. But a lot of men just don't care to do it no more. A lot of women aren't friendly. They aren't welcoming. They aren't nice people. The majority. It's rare that you meet a soft-spoken, sweet, nice woman that actually shows that they want to see you, shows that they like you, shows that they want to be around you. It's hard. It's rare you meet women like that. It's rare you meet women that love. It's rare you meet women that don't think you're lame because you're expressing yourself and expressing your feelings. It's rare that you meet women that don't think you're pussy for explaining your emotions or talking about your feelings to them. It's rare you meet women who actually believe a man could be a good man, who believe in a successful relationship, who believe in building with somebody. Everything is just rare. It is what it is. A lot of women just want money, just want attention, want ego boosts. And society, music, social media, all that shit low-key ruined everything. Low-key. But that was just a quick rant. I'm done talking about this shit. I'm gonna move on with my day and go get my food and focused on my money and my goals. I go by the name of LOCO. Peace.
And we're back. Get laundered through Ukraine, end up in all the proxy groups in the Middle East, and then the terror attacks start ramping up in multiple different countries. And that's all.
So it's pretty based.
That's just all.
And, you know, like
Ukraine,
just like you said, I feel like that dude is way more successful than us, right? So looks like Chad.
That's all it is. So do they actually care what Putin does in Ukraine? No. They just need Ukraine as their rat hole to launder money and weapons to all these different terror cells and proxy groups in the Middle East. And so then what do you get? You get war, you get death, and then eventually that reaches us because we let it happen. So that's just that's a hard pill to swallow, but it's true. And now they're coming here and they're getting homes bought for them. This is insane. California bill that would give undocumented migrants first-time homebuyers money despite lack of funding. They have no money. California is broke. Gavin Newsom signs the bill anyway to give them money for housing. Now, there's going to be a side plan here, which is that they just want the government to own all the housing. And so this is just kind of a way to start the process. Oh, look, we're giving housing to migrants that can't afford it. Isn't that great? But then, of course, the migrants can't afford the house, so the government's just going to come and buy it all up. And so you're just going to have government housing now. So California is just going full socialist, and they're just using the migrants to kind of be like the launch pad here. Oh, yeah, Newsom doesn't want to have the migrants buying houses. Yeah, let's see how long that lasts when it's already going down. But it's getting a lot of attention in California right now. This has already been going on. We had a real estate agent on this show like 2 years ago. They were already doing this in Florida with federal dollars. They're already doing it in Chicago with federal dollars. In fact, we have a local news report from Chicago talking about this. So this has already been going on. So yeah, so they've already been doing this with federal dollars. California just wanted to put it on a state level and then like try to buy up all the housing themselves and just say, oh, we're giving it to the migrants. But then eventually they would take it back from the migrants because they wouldn't be able to afford it. And they just say, no, we own this. See, we gave the money. Now it's a government housing project. But no, this has already been going on. This is from Chicago. This is a story out of Chicago where the non-citizens, the illegal aliens, are getting houses in clip 17.
Today, the Gomez family officially welcomed friends to their new home in North Austin. Gabriel Gomez tells us it's his dream. This is what he wanted for his children. It is the first home for this family of four, and it is the first time they have lived in anything bigger than one bedroom for 8 years. Euvele Rengal says they are very happy, and this is an important step for their family. Originally from Venezuela, they worked and worked in food service as an auto mechanic, delivering food, factory work. When they first arrived in Chicago in 2022 as new arrivals, they landed at Grace and Peace Church. This home is the first of 4 distressed West Side homes the church bought, rehabbed, and sold.
Oh, where did the church
we
get the
met
money?
them at the bus, and they were so distressed and worked through a whole process with them. And now they're stabilizing their own home. It's awesome.
With all of their savings, programs to assist first-time homebuyers, and an individual taxpayer identification number, the Gomez family made their dreams come true.
English, please.
Rengal says, really now is the American dream.
Now,
Grace and Peace Church plans to sell their other rehabbed homes to other first.
Let me be clear about something. That's good. So the church gets all the money, and then they give it to the non-citizens. Let me be clear. I'm sure that man from Venezuela worked really hard. I have no doubt about that. See, the problem is, and this is why it comes back to the whole America First slogan. Why can't an American get the American dream? Why is it more important for a Haitian or a Venezuelan or a Honduran or a anybody to get the American dream subsidized by the U.S. taxpayer. Why is that such a priority? Why is that a policy? If a man from Venezuela wants to come here and have the American dream, he can damn well do so. There's called an immigration process, and then it's called a free market capitalist economy. Okay? But no. He's a poor man with a family from Venezuela, so he needs his American dream subsidized by the U.S. taxpayer. So if you're a dirty American whose family has been here and is a citizen of this country, you don't count. You get skipped over. You have to pay for a Venezuelan's American dream. Like this poor lady who's learning it the hard way, who is getting emotional, talking about struggling to afford payments for her child's medical bills, and how they set up the system where it makes you actually do better. You get more money from the government if you work less and do less and are not a productive member of society. Then it's actually beneficial. It's kind of like this new proposal of unrealized gains. Well, then the whole purpose is to not be successful, not have money, not be smart financially, so that way the government won't crush you. So here it's a North Carolina mother talking about how messed up it is that she can't afford basic medical procedures and trying to figure out. In clip 25.
Does anyone else just work their hours?
So, just some context. This is her when she's pretty like unkempt. Okay. Yeah, but she doesn't look that good in there, but yeah, no, but I'm just saying like context wise, like she looks a lot better. Like yeah.
Ass
She's
off for
got
like the last
curly
3 or
hair.
4 years for like a college degree, and now you have a job that you hate and you still can't afford life, and you're still fucking miserable, and you can't pay any of your bills, and you can't live in the house that you imagine, and you just feel lied to because you thought that if you just went to college and got a degree, you'd be able to afford a house and like things that make you happy, but yet you're still barely can afford groceries or clothes or literally anything that makes you happy at all, and you had to spend the whole entire weekend in your bed because you literally don't have any money to go do anything other, like if you buy food you just can't have an entertainment budget. So I'm just wondering,
all right,
if anyone
I'll tell you
else
what,
is dealing with
I've gone
something
long
like this,
here.
or
We're
if
up
it's just
against the
me.
break. Please support us at InfoWarsStore.com as we go to this break. But I'm gonna respond to these two ladies on the other side because this is so important, and this is what we Americans all need to unify behind. It's basic common sense, ladies and gentlemen. We don't have to live like this. We'll be right back. All right, I want to play these young ladies' accounts once again and explain this because at the end of the day, we cover all kinds of issues. We get really political, and we go into all different kinds of avenues. But you know, most problems that America's faced, it really doesn't matter whether you're left or right or up or down or anything in between. You know, most of us face the same issues. I mean, you've got a class of elites that kind of try to determine our future. But 90% of Americans basically will face the same thing, no matter what their political ideologies are. And really, with all the different complex issues and stuff that we get into here, there's actually simple solutions for the biggest issues that we all face. And so I've probably played a couple dozen videos similar to this, and it's obviously gotten a lot worse since 2021 when Biden got into the White House with the economic stuff. But it's not like that's a new phenomenon. People have been struggling, but I think it has reached kind of a new height with the most recent inflation. And so when I see videos like this, I play videos like this, it's kind of the bring it home moment where we should all be able to unify and say, yeah, this is not how life in America should be. This is not the struggle that an American should go through. And there's simple things we can do to change that. Simple things. So let's once again go to these young ladies that are really getting hit, because it's not just the economic stress. It's not just the financial stress. It's just that the financial stress and the economic stress is what leads to the realization that we're being raped politically, we're being raped by our government, and we're being forced like slaves to work for foreign countries, foreign interests, and political agendas. Americans have made it through financial hardships many different times in this country's history. But when you realize that your financial hardships are caused because you've been sold out by your politicians, it makes it that much worse. Now it's become an abuse factor. And so, again, here's the account from these two young ladies kind of having that realization in an emotional response and sharing that story with the internet.
I feel like only in America can you need medical assistance that you can't afford to get. And in order to get government help, you have to make under a certain amount. So if you're someone who's makes $60,000 a year, you don't qualify for any help, but you can't actually afford to get your child the services that they need. But if I quit my job and I go work for McDonald's, I can live off the government and then she can have the help that she needs. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. Does anyone else just work their ass off for the last 3 or
Taxed. Imagine if you had 30% more money. Do you think some of that financial stress might be relieved? Now, you might not be rich, but you might be able to afford your kids' medical bills. You might be able to afford to go out to a nice dinner on a Friday night or go to a concert on Saturday, go with some friends. Just 30% of the government not taxing you. Then there's the issue of inflation, which is another means of government tax. So when your government creates policies that raise
How's
the
your day been
price
today,
of
dog?
goods,
Damn, dude. What
and
time do you wake up?
services and energy, now you're paying another 20%
You finish your
in
antibiotics?
inflation. So add it all up, you're basically looking at,
Are you feeling better after it, or
just from the
is it
result
just
of
like the sleep
policy.
that's fucking with you now? Yeah, like for like the sunburn or whatever, right? Is the scar gone? Oh, didn't you say there was like a scab or some shit? Oh,
see half of your money going down the drain.
I guess the swelling's all
just
gone though,
because
right?
of bad policy, bad tax policy, bad energy and economic policy.
That's good.
Now, that's not to say that every American could be living
But
like
what, your sleep is still
a king.
kind of like sketchy or whatever?
I mean, holy hell. You wouldn't have to fill your apartment buildings.
You wake up like how many times? Twenty times. Hmm. Now is that 20 times every hour?
With illegal immigrants from Haiti because Americans would be able to afford it. But we pay 20% in inflation since Biden took office. And it doesn't matter who's in office. I mean, it was less when it was Trump, but you're still paying 30%
When do you usually
of
do
your
your
money
workouts?
to the government
Like
in taxes.
midday?
So yeah, you're getting bent over and they are reaching into your wallet and taking your money. And then when you go to spend money, it all costs more. So it's really simple. When you are struggling, like a lot of Americans are, and then you look at your government that gives $200 billion to Ukraine in a 3-year span, has given $13 billion to Haiti, and then there's a Haitian down the street cooking a goose that he chopped up at the park. Yeah, you realize something ain't right here. Something terrible has happened here. Why am I struggling like this? So here's the realization. Americans have to unify and realize that our government has sold us out. Our government has stole our money and is giving it to foreign interests, foreign wars, and non-citizens. And the day we unify and have this great realization that we don't have to live like serfs, we don't have to live like peasants, we don't need our government, we don't need these wars. If you could just cut the taxes down to like 5-10%, your life would improve so much because you'd still have so much more of your money. If you had better policy that would bring inflation back down, you'd have another extra 5-10% of the money in your pocket. It's really that simple. It's really that simple.
Every citizen who's sick and tired of the parasitic political class in Washington that sucks our country of its blood and treasure, November 5th will be your Liberation Day. November 5th this year will be the most important day in the history of our country, because we're not going to have a country anymore if we don't win.
That's it from Donald Trump. That's the message. And I want him to follow through. God bless him if he does. But that's it. I mean, that's really everything.
Pasta? All right. Like you said, shepherd's pie.
And there's all kinds of issues. There's all kinds of angles. But at the end of the day,
You have a
that's
deep
what should
fryer?
be unifying us. That's what should be the common sense understanding.
Yeah.
And it used to be.
Where'd you get it?
And I mean, I don't mean to go off on a jag here, but it's just like to kind of step back and think about it. Isn't it absolutely insane? And I've gone out and done man on the streets and I've witnessed this, but I mean, What is it? What is the psychological phenomenon of people now
It's
that
like they
just
have it in the
love the
restaurants.
government?
It's just like a grape tray or
Just
whatever.
look
Is it like the ones they have in the restaurant where it's just like a giant like grape looking thing? Mhm. Okay. And what do you use? Just like a regular pot, I assume, to like submerge it in? But like the thing that you have the oil in, is that your own pot or is that something it comes with? Oh,
at what's developed in the Democrat Party in the last 72 hours. Dick Cheney is now endorsing Kamala Harris, and the Democrats are celebrating it. What is that? That's a psychological phenomenon that is just straight up brainwashing. I mean, if you want to get like otherworldly conspiratorial, it's like, are these actual NPCs? Are these like alien, like avatars? I mean, how do you even explain that? How do you even explain Democrats going from calling Dick Cheney the #1 war criminal, and I mean, he was the old guy they called Hitler, and now they're celebrating his endorsement? Hey, we'll trade you Dick Cheney and George Bush for Tulsi Gabbard and RFK Jr. Okay. Wow. What? So it's just like, what is wrong with them? But getting back to the point, that's what I'm saying. There's a parasitic class in Washington, D.C. Our Congress has been the source of corruption. Washington, D.C., political power, the source of corruption, the source of war, the source of
yeah, I
death,
think that
the
plays
source
by
of money theft
like
and
whatever's replacing
taxation
Canadian Tire. I
and
think it's
everything
just gonna be
else,
like a furniture
and
store.
bribery and blackmail. And Donald Trump comes out and says it as a
Yeah, the
presidential
one by Kipling and
candidate
Rexdale.
and fights it. And the whole corrupt deep state comes after him. And these
Yeah, no,
Democrats,
there's like a
he's a
billboard or whatever now,
womanizer.
and it's like
What the hell
home
is
decor
wrong
or
with
some
you?
shit like that.
What has been broken in your brain? Or again, it's like from a straight psychological perspective, what has been broken in your brain or your soul? Is there a chemical thing going on here with what you eat or drink or consume or a pharmaceutical product? Or if I'm getting just otherworldly conspiratorial, are you even human? I'm just wondering, are you even human at this point? It's like there's that scene in the first recent remake of the Alien series. I forget, it's got Charlize Theron in it. Oh my gosh, what is the name? Oh, Prometheus. It's like in Prometheus when the captain of the ship and the executive are sitting there, and the captain of the ship is talking about music, and the executive like doesn't even care, doesn't even know anything about music, and the guy's like, "Are you a robot?" It's like that's what it's like with these people. Like, are you even human? Again, I'm not saying we got to see eye to eye on everything. Believe me, I don't mind people that disagree. I actually like it. I like a diversity in thought. But there's things that is just like basic common sense right in front of your face. And these modern day liberal Democrats don't even have it. And it's like, hey, are you human? Hey, do you have a soul? Hey, are you an NPC? Hey, what's wrong with you? So, I mean, again, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, is this from the new one? Is this from Romulus? This has to be from the new one. I don't recognize that scene from any of the others. That's got to be from Romulus. 100%. I haven't seen it yet. Crew's distracting me. So that's what I'm saying. 10 years ago, 20 years ago. I mean, really, that's why the liberals liked Obama, or that's why a lot of people liked Obama. I have a lot of friends that voted for Obama. They voted for Trump. But that's why a lot of people voted for Obama, because they looked at George Bush and Dick Cheney as war criminals, and they looked at politics as extremely corrupt, and Obama was like the anti-DC parasite, anti-war criminals. He was calling them out. That was the main thrust of what led people in the middle and liberals to get Obama past Hillary Clinton. He was viewed as the anti-establishment, anti-war candidate. Now, of course, none of that ended up panning out, and maybe he had good intentions and got blackmailed, or I don't know. It doesn't matter. The point is, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, you could talk to the American from the left or from the right. Hell, if you go back even further, the left was so anti-establishment, they hated the FBI. They hated the CIA. They were actually like peaceniks, like peacenik hippies. And so it's like, what has happened here? What has gone on here? Now, I understand what the corrupt media is doing to Donald Trump. I understand what the corrupt deep state is doing to Donald Trump. It couldn't be more obvious than getting hit by a Mack truck. But okay, maybe you don't understand that. Yeah, that's the scene I was talking about. But how do you not get it
Fucking damn it,
when
dude.
Donald Trump comes out and says there's a parasitic class?
I'm clipping my nails, my toenails. I suck at doing it. What?
Class of people in D.C. that are robbing your future, stealing your money, selling your country out, and we need to get rid of it. He's saying that as a former president. He's saying that as the leading presidential candidate on his campaign trail, and you still don't get it? Doesn't matter. He gets shot at. Doesn't matter they have him up in court every other week. Doesn't matter the mainstream media attacks him for 8 straight years. The deep state attacks him for 8 straight years. And you still don't get it? So now they'll lie. But there's
Yo, dude, should I become
maybe
the
there's still
American
a human
Psycho?
soul there that they just can't quite reach. It's just somehow been untethered from the brainwashing and the poison in the food and the water and everything else. It's like there was a human soul there, but it's like been untethered. It's like they try to reach. Because I would go out.
All right, what do I have to do?
And I do like gotcha questions. These all been erased off YouTube. And they're like, hey, I would go to Democrat events. And I'd be like, hey, do you like the government? Like, no, I don't like
Yeah,
the
you don't
government.
think you're
I'm like,
insane?
yeah, do you want smaller government? Yeah, definitely. I'm like, do you think the FBI is corrupt? Oh, definitely. And then I'd be like,
Nice.
okay, so do you like Donald Trump? And then there would be like a click in their head where they'd be like, oh, he just got me. Where they'd realize it. They'd be like, oh yeah, wait a second. If I hate Trump, then I have to like the government, and I have to like the FBI, and I have to like the mainstream media. And they have that click, and then they turn off and they walk away. So how do you explain that phenomenon? What is that? I mean, you could use the buy-in to the COVID vaccine.
I said,
and
how
masks
often do you clip your
as
toenails?
like
That's why your fucking feet stink, you fucking piece of shit. I fucking piece of crap.
kind of
Shut
another
up.
just anecdotal example, but it's much bigger than that. It's like, oh, yeah, the mainstream media is corrupt. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, the FBI is very corrupt. Oh, yeah, the government's very corrupt. Yeah. Yeah, not good stuff. I'm like, hey, you know, that's what Donald Trump says. Oh, yeah, but Trump is bad. I mean, Trump's the bad guy, you know. Oh. What? But see, they have that realization. And then they just go into the denial phase. They just go into the denial phase that they can't deny. They have to deny they've been fooled. They can't accept they've been fooled. They can't accept that they've been tricked. They can't accept they've been deceived. And so they just go in all in and just double down and triple down. So it's like, yeah, I could sit here and nitpick about Donald Trump. We have a parasitic class in Washington, D.C. that has stolen my future, that has stolen my money, that has sold out my lineage, sold out what my family has done to get me here. And they're selling me out in D.C. And I got Donald Trump on the campaign trail saying it. You're damn right I want him in the White House, and I think you're an idiot if you don't.
Every citizen who's sick and tired of the parasitic political class in Washington that sucks our country of its blood and treasure, November 5th will be your Liberation Day. November 5th this year will be the most important day in the history of our country, because we're not going to have a country anymore if we don't win.
You know, he's probably saying a lot of that off script. It sounds like, you know, it's about half on script, half off script with that. If I'm Donald Trump, I'm leading with that and I'm closing with that. And I'm peppering it in every inning in between. That's what needs to be Trump's identity. That's what needs to stick in every American voter's head is that right there. There's a parasitic class of corruption in Washington, D.C., stealing your money, stealing your future.
Is all your family home today?
Stealing your treasure. I mean, that's it. And I believe the vast majority of Americans agree and relate to that. And the ones that don't are just lost. Just gone. Maybe they can be saved, maybe they can't. I don't know. And the funny thing is, I tried to help these people.
Dang.
They don't want help. And I still look at them as fellow humans. I mean, maybe they're not, but I mean, it's really just sad. But the average American agrees with that, and it resonates. And so there should not be a single voter that doesn't know that Trump says that. And I would make sure of it. If I'm the RNC, or I'm anybody that's buying political ads and doing marketing for the Trump campaign, I would refine that message. If I'm his speechwriter, I would refine that message, have it at the front of his rally speech, the middle of his rally speech, and the end of his rally speech. And then I would really do like a 30-second hard-hitting Trump ad, and I would air it on every frickin' station, every frickin' football game, college football, NFL, every damn popular TV show, everywhere on the
Does like Thanksgiving dinner count? I don't think like any particular day I crave anything more than any other. Like if I'm having something on any day and I like it, I like it all the same, right? Yeah, I do. Well, it's I don't know if this counts, but I like to get Greek food from the mall, but I don't cook that, so
internet. Right, that statement right there, refined and just boom. And every
What
American
about you?
voter needs to know that Donald Trump said it. Hey, did you know Donald Trump said that there's a parasitic class in Washington, D.C. robbing us and selling us out and
I think
stealing
there
our
is
future?
a jar of
Did you
pesto
know
in
he
our
called
fridge.
out D.C. corruption and government
I don't know
corruption?
who bought that, but
Every
probably
freaking voter needs to hear
the
that and
fucking
know
girl
that.
with.
That's the message. That's the attitude. That's the energy we got to take to the
No,
White
I
House.
didn't really look at it too long, but
Pure
yeah,
and
it just
simple.
said
All right.
pesto.
We got more coming up. We are just getting everything
Oh, I think
scheduled
I
for
know.
tomorrow's
It's
extended coverage of the
what is it,
presidential
Kirkman's or
debates.
whatever?
Kamala Harris and Donald J.
Yeah,
Trump.
Kirkland.
Boy, oh boy. Is
It's like
that going to be
Costco, right?
interesting? Can you even imagine what it's going to be like for Kamala there? And she's doing all kinds of
Are you supposed to
debate
like
prep.
put that on like bread?
He's not doing any because
Like
it's,
a slice of
why
toast?
does he need to? Kamala is a joke. She's a lightweight. Now, I do think,
No?
let's not
It's not just for like
underrate,
spaghetti or
she is
some
a
shit.
prosecutor and she does have some experience with that. So she's probably going to be tougher than Biden. But Trump is confident enough. He's not even doing debate prep. Kamala Harris is locked up in some room somewhere with the fake Donald Trump. Literally, they're doing like 6 fake debates with a fake Donald Trump before this. So we're going to be live covering it. Really looking forward to tomorrow night, spending it with you and the crew. Remember, it's all possible with your support at InfoWarsStore.com. That's how everything we do here is possible. So if you like this show, The Alex Jones Show, if you like the fact that we built our own video platform in Band.video, by the way, they just banned Rumble in Brazil. They just banned X in Brazil. They'll do the same thing here, folks, and that's why Band.video is so important. So continue to support us by shopping at InfoWarsStore.com. 25% off Bodies, the great turmeric supplement for flexibility support, joint support, anti-inflammatory support. And 25% off all InfoWars MD products, including one of my favorites, Good Night's Sleep.
Is the
to get a good
is
night's
it
sleep,
Dr.
take Good Night's
Flea's
Sleep
open
from
like all year
InfoWarsStore.com.
round?
25%
Is that
off
mainly
right
just like a
now. It's
summer
your
thing?
support there that keeps us on the air.
Yeah.
We thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, as we enter hour number 3, I got a ton of video clips I need to get to here. So I think I might just start
I want to go and see if they have
ripping them.
brass knuckles.
We're going to continue this theme here because, look, I can't forget that, part of the reason why I got into political media and one of the main thrusts and missions of InfoWars is
Like they would. I feel like there's got to be at least one vendor over there that
propaganda that they feed you every day.
sells a bunch of
So I got a
fucking
bunch
weapons.
of examples of people just tearing Kamala Harris apart. Black people that they say don't exist. But you're not black if you don't vote Democrat, says Joe Biden, but that's a whole nother story. And then former Democrats.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know. I feel like there'd be at least one person there that would have something. Because I swear, like I remember going there as a kid, and I swear, like in this memory, like this guy had like batons. He had fucking what is it like the fucking shooting stars, and I swear I saw brass knuckles there.
Talking about the corruption. In fact, we played this lady's video a couple weeks ago after the DNC. she's been a Democrat worker for years, and she said the DNC was just so despicable that it was her
Wonder
last straw.
what
And
a
so she
weapon
left
is
the
in
Democrat Party, and
their view,
she put the
because that's
Democrats on
literally what a
blast,
weapon is.
saying
So I don't know what the
this
hell.
party is not the party I thought it was. It's inherently
People are so
corrupted now,
stupid,
so I'm
man.
out. And then there were a bunch of people saying, "Oh, she's fake. She's not real." Because here's what it is: the Democrats. It's kind of like the same thing with this whole, Russian money, and they say, "See, it's all Russian money. It's all foreign money. Every right-wing commentator gets Russian money."
Yeah.
Because every left-wing commentator gets some money. Now, I don't know if it's foreign money or whatever, but the vast majority of left-wing commentators are just paid to be left-wing commentators. They don't create revenue. They have no audience. They have no support. They get money from the DNC or some other source. So they just assume, oh, everybody must get paid for their content because I get paid for my content, so therefore every right-winger gets paid for their content. No. And this is why they have to shut down InfoWars. No, actually, there's a huge market for conservative media. There is a huge audience that wants to get truth with a right-wing kind of perspective. And so there's all kinds of popular right-wing talk show hosts, conservative talk show hosts. We've organically funded and supported this place through the audience for decades. For decades. I don't know if there's a single leftist commentator that could do that. So they get all their money from outside sources, so they just assume, oh, all right-wingers must be paid by Russians or something. So that's all projection.
Whatever you
But
prefer.
it's the same thing with this girl's video.
I'm not the
So
jet
she
expert
comes
here.
out
So.
and says, I'm leaving the Democrat Party. I've worked for the Democrat Party for years. After the DNC, this party is so corrupt, I'm out. It's just despicable. I'm done. And so a bunch of paid-for Democrat commentators say, this is fake. She's a right-winger. She's a Trump supporter. She's a plant. It's all fake. So then she responds, and she says, really? It's fake? Here's the evidence that I've been working for the Democrats for years. So it's the same projection. And I keep trying to get this guest on, but she keeps having conflicts, so we can't get her on, but it's fine. She does the background research. All of these AstroTurf accounts that pop up on X overnight and get 1 million views, they say, I'm a former Republican, or I'm a Trump voter, and now I'm a Democrat. You can go pull the public records, and every single time they've either never donated to a Republican, never voted, never been to a conservative event, and then half the time you go pull the records, they've donated to Democrats. So see what I'm saying? The Democrats put these plants out there to totally fake it and say, I'm a former Trump supporter, I'm a former conservative, I'm a Democrat now, I'm a Kamala voter now. And when you do the background research into them, they're always Democrats, or they've just never been involved in politics before. So that's what the left does, is they pay people to pretend like they're changing parties. It's all fake. So this woman actually did work at the DNC, actually is calling out the Democrat Party corruption. And so the Democrats say, no, this is fake, because that's what they do. So she corrects the record and says, really, you think I'm fake? Here's the proof that I've been a Democrat and working with the Democrats for years. And so she just posted this video. And there's just so many videos like this of people that have left the
The thing about traveling with your kids is that each year they...
Why are we expected to use the same shampoo for straight, wavy, and...
Character creator, but
Fuck you say, dog? The fuck do you want? What? Did you not just ask if I was there? kitchen. You're gonna. Tom was gonna go walk. Because you were gonna go. Because you're not gonna do jack shit otherwise. My mother is the one who took it. Oh, you still couldn't hear? Oh no, she was just. No, I'll fucking get into it later, dude. Dude, just come to the fucking pull-up bars, you piece of shit. My Bluetooth earphones. I gotta cook my fucking spaghetti, alright? I'll catch you later.